Make me more like you. Change me, oh God.
Good morning to all of you. We welcome you to Midnight Gladness with Bishop Mack. On one of my previous broadcasts, I was talking about how God just blessed me, my children, and my wife so abundantly, exceeding abundantly above all that I could ask or even think. But instead of me getting closer to God, I went further and further away from God. But how many of you know that God knows exactly what to do? He knows exactly what to allow to bring you back to Him. My father, John Weldon McNair, was a header in the longshoremen, and the header of a gang in the longshoremen. And God had laid upon my father's heart to pray every morning in the union hall before we all went to work. And that kind of made me embarrassed to the fact that my daddy wanted to pray in the longshoreman hall. All longshoremen do is cuss and tell lies. Ain't no room for prayer in the longshoreman hall. But yet my father was faithful every day, every morning before we all went to work. Everyone would gather around, maybe 50, 60, 70 men would gather around my father as he prayed. And about maybe 1 year, a year and a half, my father developed lung cancer. And that shook me because and I couldn't understand how daddy didn't even smoke. How could he get lung cancer? And we found out that because my father was the head of a fumigator gang, that is when you go into this great big container where there is tobacco being stored, and they have all these fumes, these toxic fumes in there to kill all of the insects that were in the tobacco. And even though they wore a gas mask, the fumes would still seep through the gas mask, and that's how he developed lung cancer. And even in that situation, God was still protecting me. Even though I didn't want to have anything to do with God, God wanted to have something to do with me. You see, there's a custom on the corner that if your father is the head of a gang, the son automatically gets to be in the gang with his father. And for some reason, I could never, ever get to work with my father. And we found out that all those who worked in my father's gang developed lung cancer, and they died from that disease. And here I am, God closing the door so that I could live. Some of you are wondering, God, why are you closing this door? Why are you blocking this opportunity for me? God is saying, I'm closing the door to protect you. And that's what He did for me. And seeing my father going through this cancer in pain every day, pain. And it seems like that the worse he got, the more joy he got. And I couldn't understand that, but Satan was able to destroy his body, but Satan could not destroy my father's joy. And I just couldn't understand how my father could have joy in the midst of that situation, in the midst, knowing that soon he is going to die. And I said to myself, whatever it is my daddy got, to have that kind of joy, I want it. And I didn't know that me saying that, I was saying to God to come into my life, make a change in me. It was just like Jesus saying, behold, I stand at the door and knock. And Willie, if you just open that door, I will come in and sup with you. Now, I didn't open the door wide open. I opened the door just a little bit. I cracked the door, but don't you know that that's all God needs is a crack in the door of your heart for him to come in. Eventually, my father died, and I was angry because I just was trying to put the pieces together. How could God allow my daddy to die? And he was such a good man. He prayed on the corner every day before we went to work. How could God? He was a good man. He helped people. And how could God let that happen to my daddy? And as my brother Antoine and I were coming under the tunnel from the VA hospital after my father had died, my brother said to me, Reuben, we need to get saved. And I became furious. Boy, how could you say get saved and my daddy just died and all that? It didn't save him. Why? How he can save us? You talking foolish. And as we got from under the tunnel, I got to my brother's house. I let him out. And as I was driving down the street, I turned my radio on and I heard this song by James Cleveland. And it said, I don't feel no waste time. Come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And that song just shook me, and I broke down in tears, and crying. I said, Lord, my dad is dead. Lord, I need you. I need your help. I need you to come in. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to act. Lord, I need you. And that began the process of Jesus coming to my life and saving my soul. There's a parent that's under the sound of my voice, and you're catching pure hell from your child. Things are so bad that you will say, well, where did I go wrong? I tried to raise my child, my son, my daughter, the best way that I knew how. Where did I go wrong? And the enemy is trying to put this great big guilt trip so you can't even eat in the morning. Your appetite is gone. Your health is failing. All because of this kind of midnight situation that's going on in your life because of your child. And God says, trust in me with all your heart. And lean not to your own understanding. You can't figure this thing out. But in all your ways, whatever you do, acknowledge me, saith the Lord. And I'm going to direct your path. I'm going to make things better. I'm going to turn things around for your child. But you've got to trust me in the midst of this. God is saying, I'm going to turn your midnight into day. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I'm so glad that we had this time together. And we're looking forward to another Midnight Gladness with Bishop Mack. Have a good night's sleep. God bless you all. And I love you to life. Amen.
Change me. Or you can say, change me. I need a change. Change this mind of mine, Lord. Change my mouth, Lord. Wonderful change. Y'all remember this? Has come over me.